We are a year removed from the anniversary of the global economic crisis beginnings. Most agree the meltdown was in large part caused by bad mortgages and the huge leverage that was borrowed against them. But even as some say the housing and mortgage markets are improving, others say the numbers simply don't look so good. Jeff Taylor from Digital Risk crunched those numbers and joins us now to talk about it. Jeff, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
The number of ARM resets, adjustable rate mortgages, particularly 3-year. 06 was the big year for the housing boom.
Yep.
Many buyers took 3-year ARMs, meaning they are going to reset the back half of this year and into 2010. There's also some other stuff a little more wonky that's changing with the way that people can look for this stuff. Explain.
Absolutely. Well, for the most part, if you look at the $1.8 trillion that was securitized between 03 and 08, large investors have not had the rights to clearly go in and look for potential breaches of reps and warrants or fraud because the documents were written very vaguely. However, over the last 60 to 90 days, those rights have been asserted. All of a sudden, large investors are starting to get a look at these loans, and they're being able to make decisions if there was fraud, misrepresentation, or if there's credit risk. So what you're going to see is all of a sudden the liquidity crisis that was caused 12 months ago is now going to be moved and settling down into kind of what really is. What's the liability these banks truly have for the loans they put into the securities they issued? And that's going to affect directly consumer lending and business lending if these banks have to put billions of dollars.
Okay, so now these pools of buyers to buy up these pools of mortgages maybe are then diving in, as you noted, Jeff. Mm-hmm. Is there a chance they could find better news than they thought?
Absolutely.
Does it have to necessarily be a negative discovery?
It does not have to be a negative discovery at all. But if we're looking at over 80% of these loans, it's just being unlocked to be able to look in those. And historically, we personally review around $2 to $4 billion of these types of loans per month. So we're seeing potentially about $1.8 billion. We're looking at a number somewhere between $70 to $150 billion spread across the entire $1.8 trillion that could potentially be liable to the banks that issue these securities.
What does that mean then? Does that mean more pain in the mortgage market?
That means that there's going to be more pain in the mortgage market for a period of time. But however, this is also what needs to work through the system for people and investors who are actually going to come back to the market and say, you know what, I actually know what I own now, so I'm going to go ahead and look at buying new securities. Here's the quality control measures, the fraud guards, and things I want to have in place to make sure that I have the confidence.
And those mortgages may be bad now. But all these programs we talked about with the government and everything else, they're trying to reinflate the housing market. Some people say, well, what are you trying to do, create a new bubble? But if the government can succeed in pushing prices back up, then if you, at Digital Risk, re-review those same pools of mortgages, won't they look more positive? Because only if you value them at X, right, are they going to be bad. But if they're X plus 10%, X plus 20%, if house prices go back up, a number of them will be less troubled, no?
A number of them will be less trouble, but I think fundamentally we're coming back to what the investigations look at is said, what was represented to me and what's my potential recourse? Okay, at the time those mortgages were done. So in a modification type scenario, yes, if you're forgiving principal, if you're actually turning that loan into a loan, now understanding what a person's makes versus a stated income, the scenario may look better. But again, from the investors, they're going to go back and say, what did I buy in 05, 06, 07? And they're going to make those types of decisions based off that.
Jeff Taylor, Digital Risk, good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short